Before you buy an above ground pool, watch this. Our 3-month review reveals an unexpected truth about owning an Intex above ground pool. Hey y'all, welcome to Better Together Homestead. My name is Bo Brotherton. This is a little bit different than our normal homestead videos. We've gotten a lot of questions about which kind of above ground pool we got, why we got an above ground pool. We want to answer all of those questions today. And thank you to the Aiper Robotic pool vacuum for sponsoring this video. More on that later. Stay tuned to the end of this video where I'm going to be sharing our full cost breakdown. Okay, so why did we get an above ground pool? I think it's pretty obvious. We never really anticipated being that family that moved to the country and got an above ground pool in our front yard. It's just, it's not that classy of a thing that we thought we would ever do. You know, Kelly always dreamt when we moved here, when we bought this property, that we would eventually have this natural swimming pond, you know, something with plants and everything that you see on YouTube. I do think that someday that's a big dream that maybe we will be able to do that. But after last year's summer, guys, if you were in the South, especially if you were in Texas, especially if you were in Central Texas, last year you knew the suffering. We put it all out on YouTube of how bad it was, how hot it got here. It was by far the worst drought and longest drought that we have had here in Central Texas in over a decade. And we promised our family that we would not go through another summer like we did last year without a pool. In fact, when we were renovating our garden, we made a deal with our kids that we would take them to an in-ground water park. And we made a deal with them like, hey, do you want to go to the water park or do you want to get a pool earlier? And they said, absolutely, we would rather get a pool that we can enjoy the entire summer and then go back to that water park in the fall. All right, let's talk a little bit about the pool that we ended up getting. This is an Intex 20-foot prism shape. Basically, it's a circle shape pool with a depth of 52 inches. The reason why we ended up going with this one, you know, we all kind of thought that we would be interested in maybe more of a rectangular type shape pool. I think that they look better. I think that they, you know, just kind of fit that normal look on a property a little bit better than just a circle. But whenever I looked at the price and I looked at my 13-year-old son, taller than me, he said that it is surprisingly big, that it just feels big. All 7 of us have gotten into this and we're not bumping up against each other. We're not like fighting. We're not getting out because it's too small. They are being here and playing here for hours. So the size of this pool is very good for an above ground pool. I mean, let's be real. So once we decided on the pool that we wanted to get, we went to our local sports and outdoor store. Yes, we could probably get it on Amazon, but this was a better price at that time. And we got the pool, came in a big old giant box. I needed to level out the ground, and I used my tractor front bucket loader for that. I know that that's not something that everybody can do, but with the tractor, it made it a lot easier. We have some friends who have tried to level out a pool by hand with a shovel. I would not do that. I would probably hire a pro if it's something that I needed to go that route. You need a piece of machinery to make this thing level. Then once we got everything level, we decided on the foundation that we want. I know that that sounds silly where you're talking about a foundation for a pool. It's something that you need. You know, yes, you could just do like a sand foundation, and we have pretty sandy soil, but I've seen things like, which I would prefer to have done, is probably the best, is you get stall mats. It's like rubber stall mats. We actually have it for our milking stanchion that our milk cow will never go into, but it's this big, thick rubber. It's just very expensive. And that was something that we just didn't have the budget for. So we did kind of like cheapest best is what my wife calls it. We went and we got foam board for like insulation for walls, and we laid that out and it worked pretty good. There are some parts where we didn't buy enough of the foam board, so we kind of leveled it out, put some more sand on there. And for some parts like the sides, we put some cardboard, and I think it worked out really well. You can feel it a little bit when you're in the pool, but for most of it, it's all that foam board, and you can kind of like jump on it, and it feels kind of squishy and soft. And it's really kept the pool level nice and stable. I don't know if you can see, we have trees over here and trees over here. So we get a lot of leaves, but this is by far the best spot because it is shaded for most of the day. And of course, the reason why we selected this spot in between these trees is because we wanted the shade and we were willing to be okay with the leaves. Getting this robotic vacuum has really helped the cleaning of this pool and picking up all of those leaves. The Scuba S1 Pro features what's called a continuous horizontal waterline cleaning. It has enhanced dual jet propulsion technology, dual filtration system, and infrared sensors for obstacle avoidance. The Scuba S1 will give you deep level cleaning with its dual filtration system, capturing common debris, leaves, and any kind of invisible algae. It's completely battery powered, which means it's cordless, which means that you don't have to have like the tube and everything. That's what we were dealing with that maintenance kit. We have none of that with the Scuba S1. And you guys, this thing is so crazy incredible of how powerful it is. It can just like get and climb straight up the wall. And I once tried to like grab it and it is so strong. It's like just the suction on it is insane.
That is marvelous how that... Oh, it's very sucky. It's very...
Another thing that's super rad about this thing is it's battery powered, so it's gonna clean all night long. You don't have to do anything, but it says that it will dock, and I didn't really understand what that meant. We once had a robotic vacuum cleaner for the inside house, and that would like go dock like in a charging station. Of course, you can't do that in a pool, but what it'll do is once the battery dies and like it's almost dead, it's gonna come and find the edge of the wall so that you can just grab this hook and pull it straight out. It is super duper easy to get this thing out of the water. So really the only thing that we have to do with the pool for cleaning is, of course, keeping the chlorine tabs, up to date and keeping the proper levels of our chlorine. But then we just need to skim the top because the Scuba S1 is cleaning everything on the bottom, which Aiper actually has a top skimmer. And I wish that we had that because it's doing such a good job on the floor. So, we might upgrade someday and get the pool skimmer that just kind of like floats on the top of the water. So go check out all the links for the Scuba S1 down in the description below. Okay, quickly we'll talk about the durability of the frame and the liner. I have had zero issues with this thing. We're just super happy with it. Whenever we were building this, it did say, it recommended that you put some sort of like dust in here. So when we try to take this apart for the winter, we're still considering that, more on that later. This is probably gonna have a big pain to be able to get these poles out, but we have not seen any rust. We have not seen any wear and tear after having this for several months. It's just held up really, really nice. Okay, and just really quick, another thing about the size, this Intex pool is 20 feet across, and then it can give you 52 inches of depth. And that comes out, according to the internet, by doing the math, that comes out to 8,638 gallons of water. So if I'm a prepper and I'm kind of nervous about something happening with the water, then this would allow us to flush our toilets for a very long time. Now, there is one thing that I do want to say about this pool. It does come with, a very, very cheap bottom tarp, which is almost worthless. And it comes with a pool pump, which again is absolutely worthless. Just the most worthless of all worthlessness. That pool pump is terrible, which if you ever talk to anyone, they will say the exact same thing, that eventually, or basically just right away, you need a budget, that you are going to need to upgrade the pump to something more like this. The Intex SX 2800 crystal clear sand filter pump. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about this pool pump. I know that it's not exactly the review of this sand filter pump, but I think they go hand in hand, because if you're gonna get this Intex pool and it comes with the original filter, it's so bad. It's so incredibly bad. That's the brutally honest part about this. It's so bad. You really have to include this in the conversation, a sand filter pump. Now, we got a bigger one because we were initially thinking that we were going to use that maintenance kit, so we wanted the extra power to be able to clean the pool. But now that we have the Scuba S1 cleaner, then it's a little bit different. Maybe we didn't need this one this big. But you guys, once we got this thing, it just really helped the clarity of the pool. You know, any kind of like vacuum that's going to clean up the bottom, that's going to get all of that stuff that sinks to the bottom. But then when you get into the water, you can really see it. You can still see some nasty stuff in there. And this sand filter has just been so good. We did originally talk about the possibility of getting a saltwater pump for this. They make one that's a little bit less powerful, but this part actually is a saltwater generator, I think is what it's called. Sorry guys, I'm new to this. I'm a brand new pool owner, so I'm still learning everything. This thing would be able to generate the salt. So all you do is you dump a whole bunch of salt in the pool, and then the salt water generator thing like runs and makes its own chlorine. So it's really cool. It has the macro cleaner, this filter cage, you can see through it. So anytime that maybe leaves come through, I can just take this out and clean this off, clean that out really easily. You can run this thing 24/7. It was running 24/7 in the beginning. I'm currently running it at 12-hour cycle. So it's been working pretty good. One downside to this that I have noticed, but I don't think that that's a downside, I just think it's part of the process. Every like week or two, you can tell that this little guy, this clear thing, it starts getting a little dirty. And what that means is you need to perform a backwash for it. You just shut off the intake and the outtake pipes. So you just take this guy, you just spin it around to the backwash, you hit the power button, and then bam, this thing's gonna start sending out dirty water, and you'll see this will start filling up with sand. And then you do another thing where you switch it to rinse, and then it just completely rinses everything. Then you'll actually see that the pressure gauge of this will flatten out back into the green level. So it means that it's not as clogged. You got all that gunk out of the sand filter. I don't really know exactly everything that's happening in here. I'm not a pool expert, but I do know that once I do this, this pressure that's coming out of here is way stronger. So you do that maybe every 1 or 2 weeks, and this guy will be running super strong. All right, so we're gonna talk about the pump a little bit later, but let's talk about the pipes. There are a lot of people that do this and redo everything with PVC pipe. I'm fairly decent with doing PVC. That's what we did for our back water line. So I might upgrade this at some point, but basically you have your inlet pipes that come in here. You have a little shut off valve here. You shut this off if you're ever going to do any maintenance with the pump. And then, so it goes in through here, into the pump, cleans everything out through the sand. Then in your outlet, here's another shut off, and it sends all the clean water into the pool. All right, so what is my brutally honest take on this pool? One is the original pump that you're gonna get with this is completely trash. I'm just not a fan of it. So I think that an upgraded pump like this comes with a more upgraded pool, and I think then you end up getting the upgraded frame, I wonder if I would have done that. But whenever I was looking for this, that upgraded frame didn't come 52 inches deep. So that's the thing that we had to deal with, is we did not want less than 52 inches deep. We wanted something that was deep enough for our family. So I'm really happy with it. Yes, the pump had to be upgraded to the sand pump, but I think it was worth it because this thing is so big that our entire family can swim in it all at once. Oh, I forgot to say that this thing does come with a ladder. And for us, we don't have a deck, and I don't think we're gonna have a deck anytime soon. So being able to have a way to get in and out of the pool, and of course, for us having a little baby that can't swim, so we want to protect her, I like this better. We can just, lift it up, put it in the pool, and then when we're done swimming, we take it over here, lay it on the ground so that Georgia has a much lower risk of getting in the pool. All right, so let's talk about cost. Who knows what prices are gonna be like next summer, but here's a cost for this, and who knows what inflation is gonna do to us. The initial cost for the pool, again, that comes with the pool liner, frame, and a very cheap tarp, and the initial pump, which is trash. We'll talk about that in a second. Oh, it also comes with the ladder. We got that at our local sports and outdoor store here in Texas, and that costs $811.84. I actually just now checked to see that, and it's on sale right now for 50% off, yet it's out of stock. So maybe you can buy one of these at the end of season if you can find it and save a little bit of money. Okay, the cost of the foam boards and the big giant tarp that we also used, a thicker tarp, that costs an extra around $200. Of course, I had some costs for diesel fuel to use my tractor and leveling that out. Then we had the upgraded pump, the Intex SX 2800 crystal clear sand filter pump. That cost $266.86. Then we upgraded to the Intex maintenance kit. That had a cost of $44.18. We got that on Amazon. Then we had several accessories like some baskets that hang over the side, which we like. Sorry, I forgot to even talk about that. We really like those baskets. They help. We also bought an extra net, some pool tester costs. That was around $51, which a total cost comes out to $1,374.38. And again, the Aiper Robotic vacuum cleaner, which there'll be links down below, that is sponsored. Thank you so much for sponsoring this video. I appreciate you. And they've actually lowered that cost, so there'll be some discount codes and links in the description down below. Hey, if you own an Intex pool, let me know what I missed. Let me know what you like and dislike about your pool, or if you're thinking of one, if there's a completely different brand. I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. And also I want to say a quick thank you to all of our patrons over on Patreon. Y'all, we have a lot of stuff over there that you need to check out. We have uncensored livestock processing videos. I take you on a weekly tour of our property, walking around. Thank you all. Thank you to our patrons. Thank you for Aiper. All the links down in the description below. Thank y'all. We'll see you on the next one.